I'm guessing that most of you watching have watched or at least heard of an anime called My Hero Academia. Me being someone who has watched the show, I can safely say that it's probably one of the best animes I've ever watched. Now, I've been a fan of My Hero Academia for around a year now, and now that the third season has come to an end, I thought now would be a good time to make a review on the series. By the way, this review is going to have quite a bit of spoilers in it, so if you're not completely caught up with all the episodes or haven't watched the series yet but plan on doing so, then I recommend you click off this video. I'm going to be cutting this review into 5 segments, so if you for some reason want to skip to a certain segment of the review, there will be timestamps in the description for each part. Okay, now that that's all said, it's time for the review. The story. The story in My Hero Academia isn't really that special, but the show does an amazing job presenting the story. My Hero Academia is set in a world where 80% of the human population has some sort of superpower called a quirk. Quirks can vary from things like having a literal demon living inside of you to being able to shoot lasers out of your belly button. And as you could probably guess, because people in the world now have supernatural abilities, some of these people decide to use their powers for doing crimes. So the government's solution to this was to hire people to use the quirks to stop the criminals. These people are known as pro-heroes. The main storyline is about a boy named Izuku Midoriya, who has always wanted to become a hero ever since he was a little kid. He wanted to be just like the number 1 pro-hero, All Might, whose quirk allows him to display huge amounts of force through his punches. But unluckily for Izuku, he discovers that he's part of the 20% of the population without a quirk, which means he basically can't become a hero. This also leads to people like Bakugo to make fun of him, but we'll talk about him more in the next segment. A couple of years go by and Izuku is now 14 years old. As he was walking home from school one day, Izuku was attacked by a criminal. But luckily, All Might, the guy we mentioned before, was there to save him. After that, Izuku discovers that All Might got a brutal injury from a fight he was in the past, causing him to only be able to be in his muscle form for a limited amount of time. After a chain of events, Izuku proves to All Might that he's worthy to become a hero. So All Might reveals that his quirk can be passed down to other people and decides that Izuku is worthy to be the next holder of his quirk. The series then follows Izuku trying to control his newfound quirk and trying to get into the number 1 hero school, UA. I would go deeper into the plot, but I think it would be a better idea if you just went and watched the series yourself. I really personally like how the show portrays heroes in this world. Most of the time when shows or books use the word hero, they usually mean someone who's noble, kind, and brave. But in My Hero Academia, a hero is just a profession, which I think is a fun way to make the show more unique. The show actually mentions this topic during season 2, but again, I recommend you watch that yourself. The characters. In the story segment, I mentioned 2 characters, but did you know that there are more characters? Probably, because an anime with only 2 characters would be pretty bad. A character I also mentioned in the story segment is Bakugo, and I feel like I should go over him because he is a main character. Bakugo, unlike Izuku, was born with a quirk. His quirk allows him to create huge explosions from his sweat. Bakugo is somewhat of Izuku's rival. He has the philosophy that he is the best and everyone else, including the number 1 hero, is below him. But for some reason, Bakugo really hates Izuku because he doesn't have a quirk. And it just so happens that they would be attending the same hero school. Speaking of hero school, I think it would be a good idea to go over the students. The first one I want to go over is Ochako, who I have to admit doesn't really get that much character development until season 2. Ochako's quirk allows her to make anything she touches have 0 gravity. Something I think is interesting is she wants to become a pro-hero for the sole purpose of getting money in order to support her poor family, which kind of ties into the whole thing about what being a hero means in this society. Something I really like about the characters is how unique their quirks are. Sure, there are some simple ones like being able to talk to animals or having fire and ice powers, but the majority of the quirks are really interesting, like Mineta, who has the ability to create endless sticky orbs from the top of his head, or like Kirishima, who can harden his skin and become practically impenetrable. I also really enjoy the weaknesses and limits they give to the characters' quirks. For example, for the entire first season and some of the second season, every single time Izuku used his quirk he gained from All Might, he would brutally and painfully break all of the bones in whichever part of the body he used it in. Doing this really helps establish the characters as just normal people. Sure, they do have supernatural abilities, but all of their actions have serious consequences, and if they overuse the quirks, they could get seriously hurt. The animation. The animation in My Hero Academia is amazing, and has a very unique yet simple style that I haven't seen in a lot of animes. Some scenes like Izuku vs. Muscular and Izuku vs. Todoroki really took my breath away. The story tied in with the animation really does a great job with attracting people to the show, which probably explains why the show has so many viewers. And there's really not much more to say in this segment. My Hero Academia has some hands down great animation. Good job, Studio Bones. Here, take this cookie. The soundtrack. In my opinion, the music is one of the best parts of My Hero Academia. Not only does it fit the mood of the scene it's playing in almost perfectly, the action music gets me and a lot of other people physically motivated and hyped for whatever is about to come. The music is so good that I have a lot of the music downloaded on iTunes. I listen to that music whenever I need to feel motivated to do something, because that's how powerful the music is. Overall thoughts. My Hero Academia really is a great anime, and I would definitely recommend it to any of you watching. The show does a great job of keeping the viewer interested and intrigued with what will happen next. Overall, it's just an amazing show, and I can't wait to see what will happen in Season 4. Okay, so it's like 9 o'clock, and I just really want to get this video out before I go to bed. So I'm just trying to record this end card and just finish the video altogether. I just have to do the end card, and then it'll be done, but if you're watching this, then the video's already done. So, congratulations me for finishing the video. I know this isn't really the type of content I usually post, but, I'm just trying something new, and if you liked this review, then maybe, comment some other things you would like me to review, like a video game or a TV show or a movie. The end of the year is approaching, and I'm really trying to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you could, maybe subscribe, and maybe, tell your friends about the Noidtoons channel, then, that would be great. I'm gonna look back on this end card and completely hate it, because this is completely unscripted. Usually I have like a general idea of what I'm going to say in my end cards. But nope, I'm just winging this one. It's probably going to come out really bad. I'm going to look back on this end card in the morning and be like, oh, man, this was a bad idea. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Thank you for watching. So here's a picture of my... No, that's not my catchphrase. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. So as always, here's a picture of my dog.